I also want to thank the Hollywood Foreign Press for the lovely Star Trek the Musical set.
Robin Williams, the famous comedian, brought laughter to millions with his sharp wit and memorable performances. But behind that positivity was a tragic life that led to his death in 2014, which shocked the world. Now his wife has shared new details that could change how we understand his final days. What was the secret? Let's find out. But where does this information come from? In a recent interview, Susan Schneider-Williams, the wife of Robin Williams, revealed the struggles he endured in his final years and provided an emotional insight into the actor's silent battle with dementia. She shared that Robin suffered from Lewy body dementia, a neurodegenerative disorder that severely affected both his cognitive and physical abilities. The diagnosis was only confirmed after Robin's death, explaining the strange, confusing symptoms he experienced, but which were not properly diagnosed while he was alive. The world mourned the loss of Robin Williams, a talented entertainer who always brought laughter and joy to everyone. Susan's revelations now help us better understand the inner struggles and challenges he faced, as well as the underlying cause that led to his tragic death. What exactly was this disease? Is there more to the story of Robin Williams? Let's take a look back at his life and career to discover the silent struggle that took his life. Robin McLaurin Williams, an American entertainment icon, was born on July 21, 1951, in Chicago, Illinois, into a family of considerable privilege and influence. His father, Robert Fitzgerald Williams, was a senior executive at Ford Motor Company, ensuring a comfortable life for the family. His mother, Lori McLaurin, a former model with aristocratic origins, contributed to the glamorous and artistic atmosphere of the family. In addition, Robin had two half-brothers, Robert and McLaurin, from previous relationships with his father and mother. This rich family background exposed Williams to a wide range of personality types, which contributed to his versatility and multidimensional comedic style. Raised in a family with diverse religious influences, Robin was raised in his father's Episcopal faith and was exposed to Christian Science by his mother. Perhaps this multidimensional spiritual experience gave him an open and profound view of life, something that often comes through in his work. One of Robin's greatest childhood inspirations was his mother. He once said in a 2001 interview on Inside the Actor's Studio that as a child he would always try to make her laugh to get her attention. This need for connection and acceptance laid the foundation for his extraordinary comedic talent. His mother's innate sense of humor and her positive reactions to his jokes helped shape Robin's quick and sharp improvisational style. After studying political science at Claremont Boys College in California, Robin Williams soon discovered his passion for acting and decided to change direction. He studied theater at Moran College in Kentfield, California, before going to the Juilliard School in New York, where he studied under veteran actor John Houseman. While at Juilliard, Williams formed a strong friendship with Christopher Reeve, who would later become a star as Superman. Williams' comedy career began in 1976 in the San Francisco Bay Area, where he took his first steps into the promising field of stand-up comedy. His first stage was the Holy City Zoo, a popular comedy venue in San Francisco. Williams initially worked as a bartender there, but soon moved to the stage, where he began experimenting with stand-up comedy. It was here that his distinctive style and improvisational skills were born. In the late 1970s, San Francisco became the center of the new wave of comedy, and Williams emerged as one of its most prominent figures. Comedy critic Gerald Nachman once commented that Williams's creative acting style and explosive energy contributed to the comedy renaissance in the area. After his success in San Francisco, Williams moved to Los Angeles to develop his career. There, he performed at many major comedy clubs, most famously the Comedy Store, a legendary venue where many top comedians got their start. In 1977, it was at the Comedy Store that producer George Schlatter discovered Williams' talent and invited him to participate in the revamped Laugh-In. Although the show was short-lived, Laugh-In marked Robin Williams' first television appearance, launching his successful career. It was also during this time that Williams got the opportunity to perform in a show at LA Improv for Homebox Office, HBO, which helped expand his reach and introduce his unique comedic abilities to a wider audience. Although Laugh-In was not a huge success, These early television appearances marked an important start to his career. Williams continued to perform stand-up comedy on various stages, honing his incredible improvisational skills. Not only did Williams make a name for himself in the United States, but he also conquered international audiences. He performed impressively at famous comedy clubs such as the Fighting Cocks in England, contributing to building a global fan base and proving his special appeal through his unique comedic style. Williams' path to television and film began with small roles but quickly helped him rise to stardom, thanks to his great comedic talent and improvisational ability. His first film role was a small part in the low-budget comedy Can I Do It? Till I Need Glasses in 1977. Although the film was not well known and did not make a splash, it was Williams' first step into the film industry, demonstrating his determination to pursue his career and his willingness to take on a variety of roles to build his image. His first leading role on the big screen was the character Popeye in the 1980 film of the same name, directed by famous director Robert Altman. In this adaptation of the cartoon, Williams transformed into Popeye, bringing a fresh spirit to the character with his humorous performance and distinctive voice, making him one of the most beloved actors of that year. Although Popeye was not a box office success, Williams' performance was not overshadowed. Critics and audiences alike recognized his talent and dedication to the role. Williams' big break on television came when he was cast by Gary Marshall as Mork, an alien, in the 1978 Happy Days episode My Favorite Orkin. Williams was hired at the last minute to replace another actor, and with his unique sense of humor, he made a big impression during the audition. When asked to sit down, he sat on his head, an odd move that showcased Williams's impish comedic style and immediately landed him the role. Mork's appearance on Happy Days was so popular that Gary Marshall decided to produce his comedy series called Mork and Mindy, which aired in 1978. The series starred Pam Dawber and ran until 1982. Unlike Happy Days, which was set in 1950s Milwaukee, Mork and Mindy took place in Boulder, Colorado, in a modern setting, allowing Williams to explore the character in a fresh and contemporary way. Mork and Mindy's script was written with plenty of room for him to improvise, allowing Williams to showcase his unique comedic talents. The show peaked when it attracted a weekly viewership of 60 million, making it a huge success and making Williams a household name. Williams' portrayal of Mork, a character who was both naive and wise, resonated strongly with audiences. Critic James Poniwozik noted that the show appealed to young audiences because Williams portrayed a character who was both an adult and a child, full of joy and creativity. His blend of innocence and depth in the role won over a wide audience, contributing to Mork and Mindy's widespread appeal. The success of Mork and Mindy catapulted Robin Williams to superstardom, turning Mork into a cultural phenomenon. The character appeared everywhere from posters, coloring books, lunchboxes, and many other products, demonstrating Williams's powerful influence and ability to connect with audiences of all ages. The appeal of Mork and Mindy even landed Williams on the cover of Time magazine on March 12, 1979. This cover story not only marked a turning point in his career, but also brought him closer to a mass audience, opening up opportunities for future projects in both stand-up comedy and film. With his success on television, Williams began to expand his influence through stand-up comedy. During the late 1970s and 1980s, he became known for his unique and energetic improvisational style, captivating audiences around the world. In 1979, he recorded a performance at the Copacabana in New York, titled Reality, What a Concept. The show won him a Grammy Award for Best Comedy Album, cementing his status as a leading figure in comedy. With the success of this album, Williams demonstrated his ability to successfully transition from television to the live stage, demonstrating his versatility and wide appeal. Despite his success in stand-up comedy and television, his early films such as The Survivors, 1983, and Club Paradise, 1986, did not make a strong impression on the cinema scene. Despite this, Williams continued to pursue acting opportunities in search of a role that would fully showcase his talents. In 1986, he was invited to co-host the 58th Academy Awards with Alan Alda and Jane Fonda. This prestigious event showed that the film industry had already recognized Williams as a respected and highly regarded talent, even as he was looking for a breakthrough film role. Williams' film career milestone came in 1987 with his leading role in Barry Levinson's Good Morning Vietnam. Williams played Adrian Cronauer, a radio DJ for the Armed Forces radio service in Saigon during the Vietnam War. His character used humor and sarcasm to entertain the troops, demonstrating his ability to combine humor with emotional depth, earning Williams his first Oscar nomination. Another notable role in his career was voicing the genie in Disney's animated musical Aladdin, released in 1992. The character was written specifically for Williams, underscoring the filmmaker's recognition of his unique talent and improvisational skills. The role became one of Williams' most memorable, making a lasting impression on popular culture. The producers gambled on Williams's unique acting abilities to bring the genie to life, customizing the part for him. It was a huge risk, but it paid off. Williams first turned down the part, even though it was custom-made for him. He was hesitant because he did not want his involvement to be commercialized, and he was worried that Disney would profit from item sales. Williams declared, "I'm doing it basically because I want to be part of this animation tradition." When asked why she agreed to play the part, "I have a desire to provide for my offspring. One factor is that I simply do not wish to be involved in the sales industry in any way, shape, or form." Williams's remarkable improvisational work as the genie made his performance unforgettable. He captured over 30 hours of conversation, with a lot of it being improvised. Williams was able to inject the role with his characteristic spontaneity and comedy because of this improvised flexibility. He demonstrated his flexibility and comic talent by impersonating dozens of personalities, such as Ed Sullivan, Jack Nicholson, Robert De Niro, Groucho Marx, Rodney Dangerfield, William F. Buckley Jr., Peter Lorre, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Arsenio Hall. The part of the genie was one of Williams' most famous and adored performances. Williams' performance was so well received that the picture became 1992's highest-grossing film overall. The film's popularity was due in large part to Williams's enthusiastic and funny portrayal of the genie, who appealed to viewers of all ages. Williams was honored with the title of Disney Legend in 2009, a recognition that came after his many contributions to the Disney heritage. Robert De Niro had a major impact on Robin Williams's acting style, according to Williams. Williams picked up the value of the economy of speech and the powerful impact of quiet from De Niro. Williams was given a new outlook on performance by De Niro, whose acting style is characterized by delicacy and restraint, which highlights the idea that little is more at times. Williams also looked up to Dustin Hoffman, who co-starred with him in Steven Spielberg's 1991 picture, Hook. Williams learned the value of intense preparation and the significance of playing a wide range of characters from Hoffman, who was famous for his transformational acting abilities. Williams picked up the technique of really embracing a part, taking on different mental and physical characteristics to make his characters come to life, from his time working with Hoffman. This method had a profound effect on Williams' performances, allowing him to bring nuance and authenticity to a diverse cast of characters. Significant collaborations and guest appearances during Williams' latter career demonstrated his lasting brilliance and adaptability. He and Robert De Niro were both featured in a 2010 Saturday Night Live comedy. Two 2012 FX programs, Wilfred and Lewis, had Williams as a guest star. Actor Robin Williams made his debut on Broadway in the play Bengal Tiger at the Baghdad Zoo, which was written by Rajiv Joseph and performed in 2011. A crucial turning point in Williams' career occurred on March 31, 2011, when the play was presented for the first time at the Richard Rodgers Theatre production. The play allowed him to demonstrate his theatrical skills on one of the most prominent stages in the world, and he took use of this opportunity. Williams's dedication to always pushing himself and broadening his artistic palette was brought to light by his move to Broadway. He received a lot of accolades for his portrayal, which further solidified his image as an actor who is multifaceted and with a great deal of skill. Not only was Robin Williams famous for his comic genius and acting skills, but he also had a personal life that was complicated by significant relationships and the intricacies of his family. His path through marriage and motherhood represented both the joys and the obstacles that followed his public job. His journey involved both of these things. Valerie Velarde was Williams's first wife, and the couple tied the knot in June of 1978. In 1976, Williams was working as a bartender in a pub in San Francisco, and it was around this time that they began their romance. Velarde was a helpful companion during these formative years for Williams, who was still in the process of establishing himself as a comic during this period. During the year 1983, they became parents to a boy named Zachary Pym Zach Williams. Their marriage, on the other hand, was fraught with challenges, and in 1988 they legally separated. It was alleged that Williams began an affair with Zachary's nanny, Marcia Garces, in the year 1986, when he was still married to Velarde. On the other hand, Velarde made it clear in the documentary titled Robin Williams Come Inside My Mind that she began her connection with Garces after she and Williams had already parted ways. Zelda Ray Williams was born to Garces and Williams on April 30, 1989, when she was 6 months pregnant with their first child. Garces became an important figure in Williams' life, and the couple tied the knot. In the year 1991, the couple had their second child, a son named Cody Allen Williams. In 2008, Garces filed for divorce, claiming irreconcilable differences as the reason for his decision. Their marriage lasted until 2010. 2010 was the year when their divorce was completed. Susan Schneider, a graphic artist, was Williams's new love interest from the beginning. A wedding ceremony took place in St. Helena, California, on October 22, 2011 for the pair. He was there for Williams through some of the most difficult times in his life, including his difficulties with health concerns and his untimely death in 2014. Schneider was there for him. The gorgeous area of Seacliff in San Francisco, California, was where Robin Williams and his wife, Susan Schneider, made their home when they were married. This location, which is well known for its breathtaking views of the Pacific Ocean and the Golden Gate Bridge, offered Williams and his family a peaceful and lovely environment in which to experience life together. The bonds that Williams had with his children had a great deal of significance for him. Throughout his life, Williams was considered to be a dedicated and caring father. He frequently expressed his affection for his children and the happiness they brought into his life. Zelda, his daughter, has made it known that her father supported her artistic career and encouraged her creative endeavors throughout her life. A profound sense of astonishment and pride in his children was something that Williams frequently emphasized. In the past, he made the observation that the mere act of witnessing the growth of his children into amazing human beings provided him with a profound feeling of amazement. This attitude represents the happiness and satisfaction that he had as a result of witnessing the development and success of his children. His connections with his children, Zach, Zelda, and Cody, were the most important aspects of his life. They brought him an incredible amount of joy and helped him feel more grounded despite the hectic nature of his profession. Williams had a strong passion for both pen and paper role-playing games and video games. He was a gaming enthusiast. It was well known that he had a strong attraction to these types of entertainment, and he frequently expressed his enjoyment in public. The fact that he gave his daughter Zelda the name Zelda, which is derived from the name of the main character in The Legend of Zelda, which is one of the family's favorite video game series, is one of the most personal and heartfelt expressions of his passion for video games. This series was more than simply a passing curiosity for Williams. He had a deep devotion to it. It was during consumer entertainment trade exhibitions that he occasionally gave performances when he demonstrated his true enthusiasm for gaming. During the latter half of the 1970s and the early 1980s, Robin Williams was involved in a battle with addiction, which was a difficult time in his life that stood in stark contrast to his professional achievements. As a result of the great strain that his rise to popularity brought, he, like many others working in the entertainment business at the time, turned to narcotics as a means of coping with the stress. Williams became dependent on substances that were common in the social circles that he traversed. Such substances included alcohol and drugs. On a more casual level, Williams was a buddy of John Belushi, who is widely recognized as a comedian and actor from Saturday Night Live. It was on March 5, 1982, that Belushi passed away as a result of substance abuse, a tragedy that had a significant impact on Williams. Williams's life was profoundly altered as a result of the fact that they had shared a party the night before Belushi passed away. This sad event, in conjunction with the birth of his son Zach, served as a wake-up call for everyone involved. When Williams reflected on this period, he asked whether it had been a wake-up call. Indeed, the grand jury was also of great assistance on a significant level. The realization that he had lost a buddy to substance abuse and the burden of being a father were the driving forces behind Williams's decision to drop out of school. In the wake of Belushi's passing, Williams looked for more positive methods to manage his life and find relief from his despair. He began engaging in physical activity, specifically cycling, which eventually became an essential component of his regimen. Not only did cycling give an outlet for physical activity, but it also served as a mental retreat. According to Tony Tom, the proprietor of a bicycle store, Williams attributed his survival to the fact that he rode a bicycle. Cycling, with its combination of strenuous physical activity and intense mental concentration, served as a type of therapy for him, assisting him in overcoming his addiction and depression. Williams met with more difficulties, even though he had initially been successful in conquering his addiction. Williams began drinking once more in 2003 when he was contributing to the production of the movie The Big White in Alaska. His fight against addiction suffered a significant setback as a result of this relapse. In 2006, he realized that he needed the assistance of a trained expert and enrolled himself on a substance abuse recovery program located in Newberg, Oregon. In a public statement, he admitted that he had been struggling with alcoholism, which was evidence of his determination to tackle his problems proactively. The fact that Williams was honest about his addiction was a significant step in the process of his rehabilitation. He acknowledged that he had not been able to stay sober for an extended period, but he was emphatic that he had never gone back to abusing substances, as he claimed in an interview in the year 2010. In March 2009, Robin Williams was confronted with a profound health concern that required immediate medical attention. During a stand-up tour, Robin Williams suffered a heart attack and was rushed to the hospital. To address the issues, he took a break from the tour to undergo surgery to replace his aortic valve, repair his mitral valve, and correct an irregular heartbeat. The complex surgery took place on March 13, 2009, at the Cleveland Clinic, a renowned center for treating cardiovascular diseases. The surgery was successful, allowing Williams to return to his passion for music, but it also revealed how serious his health had become. By mid-2014, he had checked into the Hazelden Foundation Treatment Center in Center City, Minnesota, for treatment of alcoholism, a long-standing struggle that had resurfaced several times in his life. His return to the treatment center not only reflected Williams's efforts to control the problem, but also the extent of the difficulty he faced in his journey to regain balance. Williams' battle with severe depression was also widely documented, especially by those close to him. His publicist, Mara Buxbaum, confirmed that Williams had been dealing with severe depression before his death, and that his mental health was complicated by his long-standing physical health issues. Robin Williams's wife, Susan Schneider, has revealed that he was diagnosed with early-stage Parkinson's disease, a neurodegenerative disease that affects movement and is often accompanied by psychological symptoms such as depression and anxiety. Schneider said Williams was not ready to speak publicly about his condition, reflecting the severe mental toll he had taken. Williams was found dead at his home in Paradise Cay, California, on August 11, 2014, at the age of 63. His death was a culmination of a tragedy, tied to the physical and psychological toll that Lewy body disease had taken on him. After Williams died, an autopsy revealed that he had diffuse Lewy body disease, a form of dementia that is often misdiagnosed as Parkinson's disease. Lewy body disease is a serious condition that can cause a variety of symptoms, including cognitive decline, hallucinations, and severe mood swings. This misdiagnosis left Williams in a state of confusion and anguish in the final months of his life. The presence of Lewy body disease explained many of the symptoms he experienced, including severe depression, anxiety, and cognitive decline. 2 years after Williams' death, his wife, Susan Schneider, wrote a poignant essay in the journal Neurology. In this essay, Schneider provided a detailed and emotional look at the devastating impact Lewy body disease had on Williams's life. She shared that many doctors described his condition as one of the worst they had ever seen. This sobering assessment highlighted the severity of Williams' illness and shed light on the intense struggles he faced in his final months. Schneider said that the first symptoms of Williams began to appear in October 2013. He suddenly felt fear, anxiety, tension, and frequent insomnia. These symptoms were not only unusual, but also very disturbing, marking the beginning of a rapid decline in his mental and physical health. As the disease progressed, Williams's symptoms became more severe and varied, including memory loss, paranoia, and hallucinations. These are typical manifestations of Lewy body disease, which can have a severe impact on a person's cognitive and psychological functioning. Williams experienced great mental and emotional difficulties. Schneider described Williams as being very aware of the changes that were occurring in his mind and body, which only added to his suffering. He often expressed a desire to restore his brain to normal, reflecting his despair at the profound effects the disease had on his cognitive abilities. Schneider said Williams felt he was losing control of his mind and body, and he was fully aware of it. He often said he just wanted to reboot his brain. In her essay, Susan Schneider shares a deeply personal insight into Robin Williams' battle with Lewy body disease. She describes the pain of watching her husband, a man known for his quick wit and boundless creativity, struggle with a disease that relentlessly ravages his mental abilities. Her story vividly outlines the daily challenges they both faced, from managing symptoms to seeking answers from medical professionals. Susan Schneider Williams, Robin Williams' widow, gives a poignant and haunting account of Lewy body disease, which she calls the terrorist inside my husband's brain, that captures the relentless ravages of the disease. She emphasizes that the presence of Lewy bodies, which are abnormal protein deposits, disrupted normal brain functions, leading to his suffering. This suggests that his illness was more than just a previous diagnosis of Parkinson's. Schneider also points out the difference in how we discuss neurological conditions like LBD compared to psychological issues like depression. She notes that depression is often viewed through a psychological lens, whereas conditions like LBD stem from deeper neurological issues. She stresses that Williams' depression was a symptom of Lewy body disease, not just a standalone psychological issue. Schneider expresses concern that our society lacks the vocabulary and understanding needed to effectively discuss and address brain diseases. At the same time, she poignantly expresses the double loss she has suffered. I have lost my husband and my best friend, while the world has lost one of its most beloved artists and a wonderful human being. I am devastated. These words not only highlight personal pain, but also reflect the deep void that Williams's absence leaves in the community. Robin Williams's daughter, Zelda Williams, also expressed her sadness and the profound impact of her father's death. She shared that the world is a darker, less colorful, and less fun place without her father. In addition to his illustrious entertainment career, Robin Williams is also celebrated for his significant philanthropic efforts. In 1986, he, along with friends Whoopi Goldberg and Billy Crystal, co-founded Comic Relief USA, an annual charity television show on HBO that raises money to support the homeless, a cause close to Williams's heart. Over the years, Comic Relief USA has grown into a major charity, raising $80 million in 2014. Bob Zmuda, one of Comic Relief's founders, said Williams's involvement came from a place of gratitude and a sense of duty. Williams grew up in a family of means, so he feels a deep sense of responsibility to help those less fortunate. His desire to give back goes beyond financial contributions, to using his fame to raise awareness and inspire others to take action. In addition to his work with Comic Relief, Williams is a strong supporter of many other causes. He has been involved in numerous literacy campaigns, recognizing that education is an important tool for social change. Williams is also an active advocate for women's rights, participating in events and campaigns that promote gender equality and women's empowerment. His charitable efforts also include supporting veterans and active duty military personnel. He regularly performs for the United Service Organization, USO, which brings laughter and relief to military personnel stationed around the world. During his illustrious career, Robin Williams toured 13 countries and performed for approximately 90,000 service members. His visits to military bases and hospitals always demonstrated his genuine concern for the health and well-being of service members and their families. Following Williams' death, the USO, United Service Organization, released a statement expressing deep gratitude for his contributions. highlighting his significant impact on the morale of the military. Despite his struggles with mental health and addiction, Williams' legacy lives on through the laughter, empathy, and endless creativity he brought to the world. What do you think about this artist? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more interesting updates. Thank you and see you in the next videos.